You will now hear comments from the press. The Times of India, in its editorial title, Wrong Diagnosis, writes, a vigilant assault on two junior doctors at West Bengal's NRS hospital last week following a patient's death has triggered unprecedented disquiet among the country's medical fraternity. Bengal's public health system has, for all practical purposes, collapsed. The situation remains unsettled on account of an impasse between Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and protesting junior doctors, according to whom Mamata is siding with the vigilance rather than protecting doctors. Doctors in other states too went on strike. This may be out of solidarity with doctors under assault in Bengal, but also due to anxiety about their situation. After all, political populism is not confined just to Bengal. The turmoil among doctors can be seen as symptoms of two systemic issues. One, the breakdown of law and order in Bengal. Even after Lok Sabha polls, political violence in the state has continued unabated. The assault on junior doctors at NRS reflects a deeper malaise in the state's governance. Mamata now needs to go an extra mile to defuse the situation and get doctors back to the hospitals. It needs to be accompanied by an effort to restore order in the state and ensure doctors receive adequate police protection. The Indian Express, in its editorial title, Bishkek Lessons, says, although the shadow of Pakistan followed him to the Bishkek summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization last week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had bigger fish to fry at the forum that is constructing a new region now widely described as Eurasia. The SCO brings together two of the world's great powers, China and Russia, and four Central Asian nations, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan, with India and Pakistan. Launched by China and Russia nearly 2 decades ago, the SCO has also been billed by some as the Alliance of the East and as a continent counter to the US and more broadly, the Maritime West. For that very reason, it is seen as a major diplomatic challenge to Delhi that has moved steadily closer to the US in recent years and embraced the Indo-Pacific maritime construct. India's navigation between the two competing worlds had become even more difficult as the US President Donald Trump ratchets up tensions with both China and Russia. His renewal of American confrontation with Iran and the threat to pull out Afghanistan have thrown the region into fresh turmoil. With President Vladimir Putin of Russia, Modi sought to expand strategic partnership with Russia to new areas of defense and energy. Modi, however, joined Xi and Putin in opposing the new threats to global trade from new American unilateralism under Trump. The need to maneuver between Moscow, Beijing and Washington is now a permanent condition for Indian diplomacy and will be put to test again at the G20 summit later this month. The Business Standard, in its editorial title, The Power of Civil Society, writes, in an age of illiberal democracy, it is worth noting that there are still methods by which civil society can exert pressure on powerful ruling establishments. There have been two recent examples of dubious use of law to violate human rights. One comes from the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and one from the Russian Federation. Both have had, of a sort, a happy ending. Hong Kong has been racked by protest for some weeks against a proposal by its government for a new law that would permit extradition to mainland China for Hong Kong residents. The stated justification was in fact a murder case involving a Taiwanese national, but the government of the Republic of China or Taiwan rejected the law as violating its own sovereignty. Thus, the government of Hong Kong found its fig leaf of justification and had gone astray. In the event, few believe the Hong Kong government or its chief executive, Carrie Lam. Most viewed the law as allowing the Beijing government to clamp down on freedoms in Hong Kong, particularly on political dissidents. Naturally, there was great fear and trepidation, which culminated in mass protests not seen in Hong Kong since the time of the so-called umbrella movement some years ago. In the end, the pressure on the government was successful, faced with mounting concern in the world press and from business interests concerned about the future of Hong Kong as an investment paradise. The Hong Kong government had to suspend the law. Protesters are still not satisfied, however, and on Sunday they gathered in order to try and force the resignation of Ms. Lam, who they saw as having betrayed Hong Kong on behalf of Beijing. Those were the comments from the press presented to you by the News Services Division of All India Radio.
This is the Delhi station of All India Radio. We now would like to give you the program summary